Hi guys, it's Coffee and Bible Time. I'm Taylor.
And I'm Ashley.
And we're really glad that you guys are here to do the James study with us. If you haven't watched our last video, then we'll leave it linked down below. But basically we just have a brief rundown of what we're doing for the summer Bible study. And let's get into it.
Just to let you know, I lost my voice, so that's why I sound so weird. But we're going to press on anyways. We're going to start with the background of James. So we're going to start with who wrote it. James obviously wrote it, but he was Jesus' brother growing up. They think it was him because a lot of what he writes in here is a lot of stuff from what Jesus has said, like the Sermon on the Mount. And then it also is very similar to Proverbs. If you like James, definitely go check out the books in the Bible, Proverbs, and then the Gospels as well.
It was written to Jewish believers, obviously.
Why he wrote to them: to encourage them and to warn them. These were people who faced a lot of persecution, who were taken away from their homes, who had financial difficulties, and who were starting to follow more worldly ways. So he was warning them to start living for Christ with their whole life. But he was also encouraging them because of all the hard times they were going through.
And it was written 40 to 50 AD. They're not really sure, but roughly around that area. So right now we're just gonna have you pause the video.
We just want to go over the 5 main points that we got away from this. I have a cold. Okay.
So the first point that James says right off the bat is about facing trials,
which we all will face. And what something my mom showed me was that the verse says, "Consider it pure joy, my brothers, whenever you face trials of many kinds." It doesn't say if you face trials. You are going to face trials.
Yeah. And God uses trials to strengthen your faith so that you're able to rely on Him.
So I'm going to ask her a question because I want to make this interactive. What life trial have you recently gone through that you have seen actually draw you closer to God? And yeah.
It's a really hard question. Basically, this year, all of my friends left church. So I was all by myself in church, and that really made me want to leave because I didn't want to be by myself and be lonely, a loner. I could have chose to sit home from youth group and sat on my couch eating potato chips watching TV, but instead I decided to go to youth group by myself, persevere through the loneliness so that I could go, not because I have friends, because friends isn't the reason why you should be going to youth group. I went because I wanted to learn about God and because I wanted to grow spiritually and persevere through the trial.
Yes, that was perfect. I think a lot of us get sucked into thinking that trials are a bad thing. We get down and we complain a lot, but look at trials as joy, 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 which is really hard to do.
And joy doesn't necessarily mean that you're happy, like you're like, yay, I'm suffering, but joy can mean just being content in the moment and not complaining and just being okay with where you are.
The next point is wisdom, and so if you lack wisdom, ask God, but you need to believe. So through those trials, if you're lacking wisdom and if you're lacking what to do, ask God. James wrote this book to believers who were not good at praying, so he's just telling them to simply ask God. He wants us to do that. But also you need to believe, and you need to have a faith that you are living for God and believing that He can do anything. And
so the third point that James makes is about money. Wealth is going to stay on earth after we die and go to heaven. We can't take that with us. So James wants the Jewish people to identify themselves only as Christ followers instead of, oh, I'm rich, because hello, that's not going to go up with you in heaven. And do you think that God cares that you are rich on earth? No, because it doesn't matter. I just went off on a little tangent.
Were you going to ask me a question?
Oh, yeah, sure. When have you experienced a time when you felt like you witnessed somebody not having enough money, but they were humble?
A lot of the kids and stuff I meet on mission trips, they don't have a lot. They don't live in big houses. They live in small little trailers. They have so much love in their hearts. And I feel like they're not dependent on wealth like a lot of Americans are. And it was just such a testimony to me to see, because like nothing I have or nothing I could ever really want in this world will ever satisfy me like Jesus will, and his love will never pass away. And then the fourth point I got was that sin is deadly serious. In this verse it says, then after desire is conceived, it gives birth to sin, and sin, when it is full grown, gives birth to death. If you choose the path of sin, think about where that's going to take you compared to choosing the eternal life, eternal glory, like following Jesus. That's the path we should be striving for.
The fifth point that James makes in this section goes along with the fourth one, and that is that because sin equals death, God gave us Jesus, and Jesus gives us new life.
Yeah, he's so generous. He chose us. He is for us. Like, we are his, and he just cherishes us and loves us. So one thing that I am going to take away and put into my real life, into my daily life, is to have joy through the pain, because even through hard times that I'm facing right now, I don't want to complain about it. I want to be joyful and have the joy of the Lord in my heart.
One thing that I'm going to take away is the money verses, because I know that in 2 years I'm going to be graduating from high school and I'm going to be on my own. A lot of people are going to be focused on getting good jobs because they think that money is what's going to make them happy, but I'm going to focus on God, because God is what will fulfill me.
Don't forget to pick a Bible verse to memorize. You know, have that one that you highlighted that you really love and start to memorize it. I chose James 5:7-8. Also, guys, we really want to make this Bible study interactive, so leave a comment down below on what you are going to take away and live in your real life. Because what's the point of studying the Bible if you don't live it out? There is no point. Also, we're going to give you guys another challenge for this week. Read through James again, and I challenge you to read through it and maybe choose a different version. So the versions that I like best are NIV, NLT, ESV, or even the Message. So read through James again. It's only 5 chapters, so that's 1 chapter a day.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you guys, if you read through a book like over and over again, we've done it before, you get different things from it every single time. So don't forget to read through James again with James again this week, and we'll see you right back here next Monday.
Wow, that was a lot of horse.
Hopefully I'll have my voice back, so stay tuned.
Yeah.
It'll either be worse or better.